Distractions. Do you find yourself stopping and starting projects or things in your life and you don't finish them to the end because you get so distracted? Do you keep yourself so busy and filling all that empty space so you don't have to focus on yourself, or you don't want to be alone with yourself? Or do you get into other people's lives and want to focus on their lives, helping them, being there for them, helping them fix things, solve certain problems? Those are distractions, and those are definitely things that I got caught up with in my life. Hi, my name is Michelle Liddy. Welcome to Living a Limitless Life. I help people connect to a positive self-identity for growth and expansion in all areas of our life. All right, let's get started. So it's about focusing on you and letting go of those distractions and turning that focus from the external to the internal. What is a distraction? I define a distraction as anything that keeps us from accomplishing things that we want to do for ourselves. It could be a hobby, it could be reading a book, it could be going on a hike, anything that is fun that we want to do for ourselves, and we may get distracted by somebody else's wants and needs, and then we put our focus over there and take it off of what we want to do for ourselves. Now, I broke distractions up into two areas. One is emotional distractions, which is an internal distraction, and one is external distractions, which are those shiny objects. And I'll talk about those in more in depth. So, and then we're going to move over into staying focused on ourselves and what we want for our lives. So some of the emotional distractions can be that we get upset with people because they did something that we didn't like, or they didn't meet an expectation that we thought that they should meet. Those are emotional distractions, because whether somebody does something or doesn't do something that we don't like, it really has to do with their life and not ours. So when we find ourselves getting upset in certain situations, really take a look at that and put the focus back on yourself and say, they did something that's according to their life and their life rules, and you stay in accordance with your life and your life rules. So there really isn't really much of an upsetness. It's just about releasing and letting go of those expectations, because expectations are, you have to do this in order for me to feel okay. And when you release that, somebody can be whoever they want, and they don't have to do anything in order for you to be okay, as long as you have, focus and thought on where you want to go in your life, or anything that you want to accomplish in your day, or in 3 months or 6 months, whatever that may be. It could also be like you feel that somebody's mad at you, so you submit to what they want because you are so you may be so afraid that they're mad at you, and it's just emotionally tough to really deal with that. But when you really stand in your own identity, in your own worth and your own value, you won't submit to other people being upset and wanting their approval for them to not be upset with you anymore. You will feel comfortable realizing, they're upset because they want to have some type of control over me in order for me to submit or do what they want to do in order for them to feel comfortable. But you have to stay with what you feel comfortable, and you recognize these little things. When somebody gets upset and you're not used to not responding to that, it can feel really uncomfortable. It can feel like I'm being selfish because I'm not giving in to them. But when you start doing it a little bit at a time, it builds up your inner emotional muscle to feel comfortable and realize, this is their stuff, and I'm just going to stand in with my stuff. Now, you can be, loving to them, bless them, but you don't have to submit to their needs in order to make them feel comfortable, and release yourself of any anxiety by not giving into their upset or anger. And the more that you do that, the more that you're going to feel comfortable standing in your own skin, your own identity, and not giving yourself away to those upsets. You abandon your own plans to please other people. I used to do this. I didn't know how to say no. I didn't know how to say, I really want to do this today and not that. And I did, and it could be really easy. It didn't have to be difficult, but I made it difficult in my own mind. Like, gosh, if they say no, I guess the fear was, are they going to not like me? Are they going to not invite me anymore? I know what it was. I didn't want to for them to get their feelings hurt. I was afraid of, I didn't want to let them down. I didn't want to disappoint them. So I would abandon my own plans and do what they wanted to do. And sometimes I'd be in the middle of doing what, the things that we were doing together. And I really liked the person and enjoyed the company, but I just didn't want to spend my time there. So I would build up resentment towards that person. And it had nothing to do with them. It had everything to do with me because I didn't have the courage to say no. So practice not, jumping into other people's lives to be there for them. And that is, again, a little bit at a time. And eventually it will become really easy and you won't even think about it. You'll just say, yes to this and no to this and yes to this. And it can really become that easy. But it's not that easy in the beginning if you're not used to doing that. A lot of times we get distracted, and a lot of times these distractions come about because of trauma, emotional trauma. We've learned to keep ourselves busy so we don't have to think about the hurt or pain or anxiety that comes up from not doing, like people pleasing. Like there could be a trauma like, I don't want somebody to be mad at me, so if I say no to them, they're going to be mad at me. That was my thing. My dad would blow up all the time and have a lot of he had anger issues. So I would people please or abandon my own plans for other people because I was scared that they would be mad at me. And to me, mad meant that I'm not good enough or I'm not worthy enough or some type of attachment to that. So that's why I would do it. I mentioned this a little bit earlier about saying no. When you really practice saying no, and it starts, I had to practice it with little things. I had to really, for me, I had to envision in my mind and kind of play out how I would say no that was respectful to myself and respectful to the other person, where I wasn't saying no in a triggered way because that person is just asking, they're just asking a question and I'm just responding with a yes or no. Before I would build it up in my head like they're putting pressure on me or whatever story that I had in my head that I felt this pressure to submit or give a yes to something I wanted to say no to. And when I just said, for me, I personally would respond. I say, thank you so much for inviting me, but I have other plans, or I'm going to do something else. And I wanted to stay in alignment with my truth and authenticity. I didn't want to make like a little lie to get out of it because I wanted to be really authentic with my no's. So I would just say, no, I have, if it was other plans, I had other plans. If I wanted to just be at home, say, I wanted to do something else, my other plan is with me, basically. And I would say no, very kindly and nicely. I say, thanks a lot, but, maybe next time. It sounds really good next time. Getting into drama and complaining distracts us too. Getting into either if we're complaining or hearing about other people's complaining and adding on to that and just bringing the mood down, bringing the vibration or energy down through complaining or gossiping or, it's one thing to work through an issue, like if you were hurt or something was bothering you or something's on your mind and you kind of explain the issue, to work through it, to gain understanding, to make it to the other side so you can kind of shut down that issue and let it go. That's one thing. That's working through an issue. But if there's just a bunch of complaining and gossiping or that type of thing, negativity, just to be negative because it keeps us not focused on how unhappy we are with our lives. A lot of complaining or gossiping keeps us from not focusing on how happy we are, not happy with our lives. And it keeps us away from taking responsibility on making change to have what we want in our lives. So that's huge distraction of getting into the gossiping and complaining of things and blaming. Blaming is a huge thing, as a huge distractor for us to not focus on ourselves and really look at, okay, what am I not happy with? Why am I not happy with this? Let me take responsibility for these parts of my life that I'm not happy with and start making the steps to move into being in alignment with what makes me happy. So that's some of the distractions. Now, another part of the distractions is external, and it could be feeding the same types of internal trauma that we may not want to face within ourselves, the hurt, pain, shame, disconnection within ourselves, the not feeling good enough or worthy. So these shiny objects will distract us. Shopping can be one of them. That was one of my things, is shopping. Shopping made me, it just kept me distracted, trying on clothes, going to look, window shop, shopping with friends, shopping with myself, just being out there and looking at things and making purchases. It was like a little fix to make me feel good, but it was so short term, because then, I want to go out and buy something else. So shopping is an outside shiny object that can keep us distracted from really focusing in on our own lives, like reading a book and finding out ways to to connect with ourselves, or reading a book to really get involved with being with ourselves and having that alone time with ourselves. Programs, doing programs like getting into exercise programs, or different personal development programs. All of those are really great, but when they when they're done to an extent to keep us distracted from doing things in our lives like other things, and it's just fully focused on learning and doing, like a distraction can be just a bunch of doing, but not really stepping back and seeing if this doing is getting us to where we want to go in the long term, then it can turn into a distraction. Watching Netflix. Oh my gosh, I could be stuck on Netflix on some of these shows and just get sucked into it, and it can suck up my whole day. It could literally suck up so much time for a week because I get involved with these Netflix shows, and I really have to schedule, okay, once I'm done with my day's work, I can go watch a show at night. And kind of that's a little bit of a reward for me, that stay focused on what what I want to do and accomplish during the day, and then I'll watch a little show. Sometimes when I take a lunch break and have my lunch, I'll watch a little bit of my show and then get back into my work and do my thing. So Netflix can totally be a huge distraction. Not only that, we kind of dive into the lives of whatever show we're watching. We get into the feelings and the thoughts and the emotions that show produces for us. And that's why we can get addicted to watching movies or shows, because it takes us out of our own life into this fantasy life of the show that we're watching. And we'll want to kind of watch that and step back into our own life and create those feelings and thoughts and emotions in our own life for ourselves. And I'm talking about, positive shows that elicit positive feelings, these other shows like, action shows or shoot 'em up kind of shows. Those are entertaining, and that also takes us off perspective of really focusing on what we want for ourselves, focusing on all these different types of shows. Now, as far as staying, when you want to go out of distractions and stay in your own path is your own dreams. And one thing about dreams is I kind of think about dreams in a different thing. It's really not a dream, it's a different version of who you are. So when you step into something that you really want that seems so far off and so far removed from your today life, that just means that you have to attach to that person, yourself, that person of you that aligns with that thing that you want in the future. Because it's not a dream, it's a reality, but it's just a different version of you that you want to level up and attach to those feelings, emotions, thoughts, and behaviors that align with that future thing that you want. It could be a relationship, meeting somebody, coordinating a friends group and wanting more friends. It could be financial success. Whatever it is, who you are today is not able to have that, quote, dream or thing in the future that you want unless you change yourself to align with the person that has those things. So I kind of see dreams as just the future me in alignment with those things that I want, because it's possible. It is so possible. It's not a dream. It's actually a reality in today, making the choices today to align with that thing that you want for yourself that will be in the near future. it's really deciding what do you want in your relationships, your hobbies, your business. It's about making it's about making small choices. I said smaking. It's about making small choices to get to that thing that you want. In the beginning, it seems so far-fetched, but it's about the small incremental choices that lead up to that huge change. It's not that all of a sudden the huge change just happens all at one time. Sorry, today I'm like getting tongue-tied. It's about making those small incremental changes that compound into that exponential change. And when you start making those steps, in the beginning, it feels like a whole bunch of steps in the beginning, but as you continue, you'll get momentum, and then it starts compounding, and then you get there faster when you stay consistent in making those small steps towards the things that you want in your life. Now, what are the 5 things to do to stay focused? Now, the 5 things to do is, 1 is have clarity on what you want. In order to have clarity on what you want, you have to have clarity on who you are. Who are you? What are your value systems? What do you like? What do you don't like? What's a no-go? Where are your boundaries? And this, in the beginning, it takes some work, because in order to have anything in your life, you really have to have clarity on who you are and what you want, and then align with who you are with what you want. It's really having that emotional attachment to what you want, because sometimes we say we want this, and the reason why we want it is because it's going to give us a feeling an emotion. We're gonna be in some type of feeling state as to why we want this money or this relationship or this boat or this car, because it's gonna give us a feeling of whatever you feel that feeling is. But if you can feel that feeling first on what you think that thing is that you want, then you will become closer and closer to that thing that you want. So if you want something like, I want to go on this trip in like 6 months. Let's take maybe a big trip to Europe, or if you're in Europe, you're coming to the United States. What is that feeling that it's going to give you? You're just going to feel excited, adventurous, courageous. If you're not a big traveler, whatever that, you just feel like freedom. Like when I think about going on vacation, I feel freedom. So you want to attach to that feeling that it's going to give you. That's the thing that's going to propel you and stay with doing the things that you want to do to align with the things that you want. Who do you want? And I talked about this a little bit earlier. Who do you have to be to become to have what you want in life? And today, my today is not going to be, is not going to get me to where I want to go in the future. So I really have to think about, who do I want to be to have what I want? So how do I have to level up myself? Be more consistent with certain things that I want to do, really define and have clarity, and then really define all the steps that I would like to take in order to get to that thing. Like right now, let's say I would like to lose a little bit of weight, let's say about 10 pounds. So I really have to get to that clarity of, wanting to hit that goal. And who do I have to be in order to hit that goal? One is to be consistent with what I eat. Like I like to snack at night and eat, sweets. And so in order to get where I want to go, kind of cut that out. It doesn't mean forever, but cut it out until I reach my goal, and then just eat it in moderation. And I know that sounds so easy, but sometimes it's so difficult when it's late at night and I just want that sweet snack at night. So it's just being consistent every day, and then not beating up on myself if I do eat a sweet snack at night, and realize, what are the wins that I got to up to this point? Okay, I gave in and ate this sweet, and then the next day wake up with just enthusiastic, with looking at what I did well and not really focusing on, okay, I ate that one little sweet snack or whatever. So who do I have to become? I have to be consistent in what I eat, do some exercise, and get out there and move my body. So that's the person to be in order to be losing the weight that I would like to lose. Practice saying no to external things. One thing is when somebody asks me to do something and I don't want to do it, say no, because and this comes with having a vision and clarity of what I want and how I want my day to go. So like if I'm going to do my videos and somebody asks me to go hang out for the day, it's a no, because I want to focus on my video and get the video out. So not being distracted. Like if somebody asks me to lunch, gosh, I love going out to lunch. And it's hard to say no because I really want to go, but I have to stay focused on the long-term goal of what I want, and that's my YouTube channel and growing out my YouTube channel. So it's not going to lunch, it's really saying, okay, today I'm going to map out what I'm going to talk about and I'm going to do my video. So it's saying no to those external distractions. And in the beginning, it was really hard for me to say no, but now it's a lot easier for me to say no because I have a focus and vision of what I want to accomplish in my life. And so that is kind of my little GPS. That's my GPS system, is when I have really clarity on what I want and I'm attached to it emotionally, like growing out the YouTube channel and providing value to all of you. It makes me feel really good. So that keeps me, dedicated to doing my videos and saying no to things that I could easily just go blow off a day and go have fun and not focus on doing a video and really thinking and mapping out what I'm going to talk about. Honoring yourself. This was a big one for me. I didn't honor myself. And honoring yourself is really honoring who you are as a person. All of our quirks, all of our funniness, silliness, our serious side, just honoring and owning and embracing all parts of who we are, our shadow sides, the parts of us that we know that we want to heal up, and really embracing those parts of ourselves and honoring ourselves. And when we're in a situation, I really feel into it and I say, it's making a decision if I'm going to buy something, if I'm going to spend time with somebody, and I really honor myself and say, is this really where I want to express myself? And I really feel into it and honor myself. So that's something that I do. You can really feel if this is something you really want to do or something you really don't want to do. Am I buying something just because to buy, or is this something that I really need? And I still need to work on that one a little bit. But it's really, I'm like, I don't really need this. And I told myself, actually the last few days, I was going to buy some things, and I really told myself, no, and no, I don't need these things. And I came home and I felt really good because I really honored myself. And not like getting distracted, right? Getting distracted and purchasing something and taking the focus on what is my goal, to focus on my finances and focus on, myself and honoring myself. The fourth thing is choose you. When all else is, when you're faced with pressure and not knowing what to do, feel into yourself and choose yourself. What's best for you? And ask yourself. Just stand very quiet. If you're with somebody, go to the bathroom, stand in the bathroom. I've done this, and stand in the bathroom and just kind of ground yourself and then choose you. What is the best choice for me right now? Should I, do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this? Do I want to buy this, not buy this? Do I want to go here? Whatever the decision is, stand in your own silence and really feel into it, and it works. And choose what's best for you when you're faced with a situation you're not sure which way to go. And it will come up. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for it to come up, and that's okay if you don't have to make a decision right then and there. And sometimes, a lot of times it will come up pretty quickly on what direction you should do. And if all else comes to a head, just say no. It's, really that easy. Just say no and go home and think about things. And that's kind of the best route, is to not go through with something if you're totally not sure about if that's the direction that you want to go. And that could be in anything: hanging out with somebody, buying something, going on a trip, whatever it is. Feel into it and see if that's the best choice for you. But honor yourself, not the pressure of the external. If somebody may be pressuring you, do this, do that, buy this, go with me here, do this. If you're feeling all that external pressure, bring it back to yourself and choose and honor yourself on what's best for you. Great. Well, thank you for being here with me today. I really appreciate sharing this with you, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks. Bye.